Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be doing a natural soft glam look, so just stay tuned for the next step of the video. But first, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share with a friend. Let's get straight to the video. I already did my brows off camera as well as prep my skin. Now we're going in with our foundation. The foundation I'm going to be using today is the Too Faced Born This Way in the shade Chai, and I'm just going to do let me do another pump, like 3 small pumps on the back of my hand. And today I'm going to be using a flat foundation brush. I have not reached for this brush in years. I mainly just been using it for my skincare, but just scrape a little bit on your brush, and I'm just going to be doing some lines just like this. And you see how little that is? A little goes a long way, and in the process, just blending that in. And this this foundation looks a little lighter than my skin tone, and that's because when I first purchased it, you know, it did blend perfect, and it still does. You just gotta work it in a little bit. And if you're worried about using this brush that you'll get any type of streaking, I am going to go in with another foundation brush. I'm starting to get a little bump there, but that'll be gone very soon. So and I'm just blending this out really good before going in with anything else. And as you can see, the only parts of my nose that I want to cross is that, and I really want to try to avoid putting a lot of product on my nose, so do the same on the opposite side, and then fill in those blanks. And I found that putting product on the back of your hand also help you use less product. Less is actually more, and if you have dark spots like me and you want to cover them up, it's best to use a foundation or concealer that is full coverage, or at least medium to full coverage. The foundation is a medium to full coverage, and it does the job really well for covering up my dark spots. I don't have to put any extras. And what I mean by any extras is like any extra correctors or anything like that, or concealers beforehand. And then most of my foundations is buildable, so that's another thing that's great about these products that I like to use. Forehead, you don't need as much product as you will for the center of your face, unless you like it. For the most part, you don't. If anything, I'd rather use less product on my forehead and my nose than I would everywhere else, because again, your forehead is not that big. Even if you have or if you feel like your forehead is larger, you really don't need that much foundation, because you're probably going to put on contour anyway, so you probably just need to cover up just the center. Be careful around your brows. You don't want to mess up your work. And I don't know if y'all can see the line, but I'm gonna show you how to fix that in just a second. Now, whatever product, which is barely nothing left on the brush, I am going to blend out onto my nose. I still only have the tiniest bit on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna use that for the rest of my chin and neck area. But I'm blending out really good with this brush before going in with my other brush to blend even further. You could use a sponge to blend, but when you have less product on, you don't want to use a sponge because the sponge is used to absorb some of that product, especially if you feel like you put on too much. Now, I need a little bit more on my neck area, so I'm just going to do 2 small pumps just like that. And one probably could have did it. And I'm really blending out around here because I don't want it to look like a line. Okay, now going in with my other foundation brush, I'm really pressing that product into my skin. Again, if you use a sponge and you don't have on a lot of product, it will absorb some of that product and you might have to go back in just to get the coverage that you want. Especially if you're a person like me that has like hyperpigmentation or dark spots. And I just love how this blends into the skin. And before I move on to the concealer, I'm blending, making sure it's 100% blended out. And I'm not swiping or doing circular motions. I'm stamping it into place, just like this. And then with the Milk Hydro Grip, it also helped that product stay exactly where you placed it. Now, when it comes to under here, I am going to swipe down to make sure that I'm properly blending it out on my neck. And I know some people don't like to put products on their neck, but that's okay. Okay. Now, for my under eyes, I am going to be using, like I said, the NARS Soft Matte. And I'm going to be using that same brush that I did for my under eyes. Sorry, under my brows, which y'all didn't get to see. But if you want a video of my brows more than what I show, just let me know down in the comment section. And with this concealer, it's like if you want a bright under eye, I recommend you using a lighter concealer, whether it's this kind or a liquid concealer. For me, since I'm going for a more natural look, I don't want a lot of brightness. I just want the coverage, if that makes sense. And right here, I'm just going to clean that up. And don't worry if they get messed up when doing your eyeshadow, that's fine. And with this product, you don't really need a lot. I'm just adding on a lot because I want to make sure that it covers everything that I needed to cover. And I love this concealer because it blends so good. It's so easy to blend out and it just goes with my skin so perfect. And I am going to go around the upper lip area, or like some like to call it the mustache area, which I'm gonna let this sit for a little while, which I feel like with this concealer you don't have to let it sit for long because it's already kind of thick, so you can go right in and blend out. And as you can see, there's a line right here. You're gonna take your brush, the first foundation brush first. Blend out the edges first. Now take your other brush and really clean up that edge. And at this point, you can use your sponge to clean up the edge. Right. The sponge I'm going to be using is the one that I was using earlier. And I'm just really patting that into place. Like that. Now, because I get creasing around my smile line, I'm going to set that into place as well, right along with the under eye. Pressing that product up. Grabbing my powder. Really like making sure that I press that powder in really good before adding any more powder, because you want to make sure that you're not setting any creasing. Now, I'm gonna naturally get creasing regardless, and I looked at an old baby picture of mine, and the same, like, what I'm gonna say, bag or droopiness under my eyes. I had the same thing when I was a baby, so there's nothing I can do about that. Just like that. Do the same, and before I dip in the powder and I tap off the excess, you can tap that excess off on the back of your hand. I just don't feel like doing that because I feel like it's a waste of product. In my opinion. But and as you can see, I didn't let that powder sit for that long because I don't really want to bake, but I am going to add more powder before I do my lids. Now, for this creasing area, use your tongue or do this, but I prefer to use my tongue to stretch out the skin. Use my foundation brush to blend out even more. And let that sit right there for just a little minute. Do the other side. This side I really don't get too much, but I'm gonna still do it. Okay. I know I look crazy. And since I did add concealer right there, I'm also blending it out. Before I put powder up in here, I'm gonna fix my brows just a little bit, but I'm gonna look into this mirror instead of the phone. And whatever product is in the center of my forehead, I kind of like to blend that into my brows so that I don't have like such a harsh line for my brows. And be very light-handed when doing this step. And since this part of my brows up front has like less hair than the other side, I'm just gonna make some small little lines just like that. It's kind of like fix it a little bit, and then use my spoolie to basically brush those hairs up just a little bit more, just like that. That's it, that's all. Use my foundation brush. Just like that. Taking my powder, really pressing that in. And whatever product is left, I'm going to dip my powder foundation brush into my powder, tapping off a lot of that excess. And I'm just lightly pressing over my brows because I want my brows not to look so shiny and I want them to stay in place. And then taking that sponge and lightly blending out the rest of that. To set the foundation in place. Now for the nose, I'm just going to carve it out yet again because I needed to catch any type of fallout from my brows. I mean, not my brows, excuse me. My shadow. Now, using my NYX Ultimate Palette, this is Escape Artist, that skin tone shade, all over the lid, because again, I'm going for a more natural look, so I don't want to go too much into colors today, but just enough. Still using the same shade, just adding more when it's needed. And then I'm gonna do the darker brown, not a lot, fading it into that. Okay. Now, pretty much done with the eyes. But you're not going to be done with this brush, so don't get rid of this brush just yet. Now I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty bronzer, and I'm Mocha Mami. And I'm just going to contour my nose just a little bit. And I'm making sure that I do some circular motions to blend this shade. And just so it don't be like a harsh line right here, blend that back into that eyeshadow, please. Just like that. Okay, and I'm also gonna add, when I say the tiniest bit, just to add a little color back to my face. And I'm not blending it out just yet. And I like to just press it. Then of course blend up. And also make sure you're blending that product into that hairline. And I know you can see there's a line, and I'm gonna show you how to fix that in just a second. Do the other side. I try not to use so much of this because it can be really, really dark if you use too much. You want to make sure that you use enough. Just add a little down here, whatever's left on the brush. Okay, now using my other foundation brush, still blending into my hairline, blending those two colors up with this one. Like when you blend in your hairline here, then go and blend up. Still pressing it into my skin, but blending upward versus down. And it's okay if you dust away some of that powder in the process, because you're gonna dust it away anyways. Same with the contour. dusting it away and pressing it in at the same time. And even though you did not do any concealer for real right there, still add just a little bit of powder. As well as a little bit on the other part. I like to do that and then quickly dust away. That way I still have my contour going on. But just so you can see it a little more, I'm gonna just add a little more to it. Right. Press powder. Really like dusting under the eyes. And to make sure that this is not as dark, I'm grabbing another shadow brush. Not the one that already has product on it, but a different one. And really like blending that in. And you can go back in if you want to with that Skin Light shade. It's up to you, but there's really no need. Bronzer, you're completely done with. If you want to add a little blush, you can add a little blush. I am going to add the tiniest bit of blush, but still enough that you could see some type of color. So the bronzer, bronzer went here. I'm gonna go up just a little bit, but still covering some of that. With blush, it's kind of hard to get blush to really show up without putting a lot, but I don't want a lot because again, this is a more natural like look. And then lightly going over my nose too, but don't go back in with nothing on the brush, but just really blend that in. And you can take it a step further if you feel like you didn't powder the rest of your face enough, but I did. I'm just adding some more pressed powder. And I never add pressed powder to my chin area to set that as well, which is so crazy to me because when I'm wearing certain outfits, that's why that part transfers, because it's not set into place. Now, you can add on eyeliner if you want, or just mascara. For me, I think I'm going to do eyeliner, but not black, brown. I don't really want it to show like how the black would, but just enough. Be careful not to poke yourself in the eye. That's why I didn't leave it sharp. I left it dull. Just like that. And I know it's not the easiest to see, but again, it's more of a natural look, and I really don't want to see it as harsh as I do when I do black. Going with your mascara like normal. And this mascara is a Tarte mascara. The brown lip liner that I used is, I don't know what brand that is. I got it from a local beauty supply store, but it's just a regular brown. Nothing really special about it. I also have a black in the same thing, but the black I knew I would never use as a lip liner. Only as an eyeliner, but the brown I love as a lip liner, and I'm going to use it again in a second. I love this mascara. Like, it doesn't do too much, but it does enough. Now, if you really want like a bold eye look, especially this one is almost done, but use it when it's fresh and brand new, and you'll like it, I feel. But even dry down a little bit, I love it. Yeah, dry down mascaras, in my opinion, it's a little bit easier for me to work with. Not too dry, of course, that it's yanking out your lashes because it's so dry, but dry enough that you have more control and liquid just don't be slathered everywhere. And I probably should have sprayed my face before going in with this mascara, but my mascara never droops onto my face, so that's a good thing. And it's not waterproof. I only have one waterproof mascara, and to be honest, y'all, I think I only used it once, and I can't even tell y'all if it was waterproof or not, because as soon as I used it, I did a video and I took the makeup right off because it was like 2 o'clock in the morning and your girl was tired. Did that video make it to YouTube? Probably not, knowing me. Because to be honest, I shoot a lot of videos that be cute looks, but because most of the time I'll just be playing around, they never make it to YouTube. And to clean up any lines from here, just add a little bit of powder. Add a little more. Just like that, because I want that line to be crispy. And to even clean up around here, we're going to do the same thing. Right? Again, optional. And it's okay if it goes over a little bit. I'm not really too concerned about the overage. Just to clean up that line a little bit. Alright. And then just whatever's left over. Really make sure that I'm gonna stay matte. And I'm just lightly dusting and patting that into place. Dusting and patting that into place. Dusting, patting it into place. Dusting, patting that into place. Okay. The sprays that I'm using, I'm using two different sprays. One would be the late, y'all, I just can't talk tonight. One would be the MAC Prep and Prime. This is coconut. Close your eyes, of course. And then I'm gonna come back. Okay. So I'm just using a piece of paper. I want to make sure that that is really like dry. And since it is, now we're going to go in with the other spray. Now this is 3 different sprays mixed together. This also spray this. And hope you all like this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share with a friend. And if you want more of the more natural looks with different eyeshadows, I guess, just let me know. I love the way the foundation looks. It looks